Science chapter 1 textbook reading. Growing plants. Growing plants. A variety of plants are found on the earth. They include trees, herbs, shrubs, etc. The plants keep on increasing in number by the process of reproduction. It is a process by which plants produce new plants like themselves so that their species remain on the earth. Reproduction in plants can occur in a number of ways. Most of the plants reproduce from seeds, while some of them reproduce through other parts like roots, stems, or leaves. Flowers are the reproductive organs of plants. Most flowers turn into fruits which have seeds. These seeds can be used again to grow new plants. Reproduction from seeds. Majority of plants grow from seeds. Seeds grow into seedlings in the presence of water, air, and sunlight. A new plant that grows from the seedling. Structure of a seed. A seed is a tiny life supporting package which can give rise to a new plant. It contains mainly three parts: seed coat, seed leaves, and embryo. Seed coat. It is the outer hard covering which protects the baby plant until the seed germinates. Seed leaves. Inside the seed coat, you will see the seed leaves or cotyledons. They contain the stored food which is used by the growing seedling. Some seeds like gram, pea, and bean have two cotyledons. That is why such seeds are called dicotyledonous or dicot seeds. Dicotyledonous or dicot seeds. Other seeds like maize, wheat, and rice have only one cotyledon and are called monocotyledonous or monocot seeds. Embryo. The embryo is a baby plant which lies between the seed leaves. Embryo contains two parts, the radicle and the plumule. The radicle develops into root and the plumule grows out into a stem. Germination of seeds. Germination is the process of development of a seed into a seedling. It depends on various factors given below. Water. Inside wet soil, the seed absorbs water. Water softens the seed coat. This helps the baby plant to break the seed open and come out. Seedling. A young plant that comes out from embryo. Warmth or sunlight. It makes the seed active. Air. It is needed by the seeds to breathe. Seeds, if completely covered with water, do not germinate because they do not get air. To do an activity to show that air, water, and sunlight are necessary for the germination of seeds. Take 4 bowls. In bowl 1, put a few bean seeds on wet cotton. Keep this bowl in a dark and cool place or in a refrigerator. In bowl 2, put a few beans on a dry cotton and keep it in an open place exposed to sunlight. In bowl 3, put some bean seeds on wet cotton. Keep bowl 3 next to bowl 2. Okay, next to bowl 2 so that it also gets plenty of sunlight and air. In bowl 4, put some bean seeds in excess water so that the bean seeds remain submerged. Some water should always be there in bowls 1, 3 and 4. Conclusion. The conditions necessary for germination of seeds are water, air, sunlight or warmth. Next, seed dispersal and its agents. Seed dispersal and its agents. Plants are fixed to the ground and cannot move from one place to another. If all seeds fall and germinate near the plant, they will not get enough sunlight, water, and space to grow. So, it is important that the seeds are spread out. Nature helps the seeds to travel away from the parent plant. This process of scattering of seeds is called seed dispersal. Seeds are scattered in different ways by various external agents like wind, water, etc. They are called agents of dispersal. Dispersal by wind. Seeds that are very light and small usually get dispersed by wind. Seeds of cotton, hyptaceae, and dandelion have long hair around them, allowing them to be carried away by the wind. Seeds of some plants like maple, jacaranda, and drumstick having wing-like structure to help them to float in the air. Dispersal by water. Flowing water carries seeds of plants that grow in or near water bodies. For example, coconut which grows near sea coasts is hollow from inside and is covered with thick fibrous rough hair on the outside. These rough hair help it to float on water. When a coconut falls from a tree into water, it floats and travels with the waves, which deposit it far away, where it grows into a new plant. The spongy lotus fruit is also dispersed by water. Dispersal by animals. Dispersal by animals. Human beings and animals also help disperse seeds. We throw away seeds after eating fruits like cherry, mango, papaya, and apple. Birds and animals eat whole fruits at once. One place and pass out the undigested seeds after some time at another place. Such seeds thus germinate at places far away from the parent plant. Some seeds have hooks, spines, thorns, or stiff hair on them, which get attached to the fur of animals passing by, feathers of birds, and even to our clothing. Eventually, they get dispersed to distant places. Example, Pupalia and Xanthium. Dispersal by explosion. Some fruits like pea and balsam burst open or explode when they ripen. The seeds pop out and get scattered away from the mother plant. Explode. Burst with force suddenly. Reproduction from other parts. Reproduction from other parts. Plants can sometimes arise from the body parts other than seeds of the parent plants. This process of reproduction by which a plant reproduces from its body parts other than seeds like root, stem, etc. is called vegetative reproduction. Vegetative reproduction. Reproduction from stems. Some plants can grow from stems. A piece of stem carrying buds from the mother plant is cut and planted in the soil. This is called stem cutting. Each stem then grows into a new plant. For example, sugarcane, hibiscus, and rose plant. Some underground stems have small buds on them. When they are planted in the soil, new shoots grow out from the buds. For example, potato and ginger. Reproduction from roots. Reproduction from roots. A new plant can also grow from the roots of the mother plant. In plants like sweet potato, radish, turnip, beetroot, and dahlia. Reproduction from leaves and spores. Leaves of certain plants produce buds along their margins. New plants grow from these leaves if these are placed in moist soil, for example, bryophyllum leaves. Some plants have special structures called spores, which give rise to new plants. These plants do not bear flowers or seeds, for example, mushrooms, ferns, and mosses. Crops. We get most of our food from plants. The plants that are grown and cultivated at one place on a large scale during a particular period are called crops. Different crops are grown at different places on the basis of soil type, water available, and climate. Types of crops. In India, crops like wheat and gram are grown in winter from November to April. They are called Rabi crops. These crops do not depend on monsoon rains. Vegetables like cabbage, cauliflower, pea, and bean are also grown in winter. Crops grown in summer from June to October are called kharif crops. Rice, maize, jowar, and bajra are kharif crops. These crops depend largely on monsoon rains. Vegetables like pumpkin, brinjal, and groundnut also grow well in summers. Healthy crops. Crops need to be grown on a very large scale to feed the entire population of a country. The practice of growing crops on a large scale is called agriculture. Essential requirements to produce a good crop are: farmers should have knowledge about the soil, climate, and season for growing different crops. They should sow healthy and ripe seeds. They should plough the field and make it ready before growing the next crop. Farmers should mix the right amount of fertilizers in the soil to increase its nutrients. Two kinds of fertilizers are used for this purpose. One is organic and another one is inorganic fertilizers. Organic fertilizers or manures are natural fertilizers obtained from cow dung, dead and decaying plants, animals or vegetable matter. Inorganic fertilizers are generally made of chemicals such as urea, nitrates, and sulfates. These are made in fertilizer industries and are harmful to the environment. Farmers should properly irrigate, supply water, the soil when required. They should use insecticides and pesticides to protect crops from insects, pests, etc. However, overuse of pesticides and insecticides can be harmful to the soil and crops and ultimately to our health. Crops should be cut properly and gathered. This is called harvesting. This is called harvesting. Crop protection. Crop protection includes protecting the growing crops against insects, seeds, diseases. Insects, diseases, weeds, fungi, and other undesirable pests. By using insecticides and pesticides, population, all the people living at a place. So, plant seed by spreading on earth. Plough, turn up or loosen the soil. Grazing animals such as cows and goats and animals like rats, birds, squirrels and moles eat up fruits and crops. They should be kept away from the fields. Insects like caterpillars and grasshoppers and microbes like bacteria and viruses cause diseases in crops. Pesticides, insecticides, or fungicides are used to kill them. Storage of crops. When the crops ripen, they are harvested and stored as grain after drying. They should be kept safe from moisture and small animals like rats, moles, squirrels, birds, and insects. For example, for this purpose, grains should be stored in dry and well ventilated rooms. Farmers store grains in jute bags or metallic bags. Large scale storage is done in silos or granaries.